Hello, hello.
Hi.
You're trying to be nice, but I know you're stressed to all hell. We
I
just had
really
such
am. And
technical difficulties.
I can't hear well. I don't hear myself on the mic. I don't know what's happening.
Still, I thought we fixed it.
No, I mean, I hear, but not well.
Oh dear.
Better.
Okay. Well,
As long as you can hear me, we're good.
yeah. Yeah. You do sound slightly like my Siri changed on my when I speak to Siri on the what is that thing called? The iPhone.
Yeah.
Her voice changed and she sounds very sick, like very fragile, like she has COVID. I've got the Siri COVID voice.
Poor thing.
I didn't, and the other night she wouldn't work at all. Well, she would say something went wrong every time all I ever ask for is like to set an alarm, or I'll call for her when I can't find my phone. And now she's like, she won't even set the alarm. She's like, something went wrong. And so I had to figure out how to go on my settings and set an alarm because I had to get
She's
up
had
early. It
it.
was very important, Like,
Listen, she's having a moment. I
Siri's having a
understand.
moment. I think it's time for a new phone because when times are tough, you can upgrade. Well, I mean, because you pay it. They put the payments into your phone bill, so you really don't feel it that much, right?
Oh yeah, that's how I'm paying mine.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to do that because I think my phone is I've had it for several years, and I think it doesn't even take the upgrade. What are those things called? The updates? I don't think it does that well.
Oh yeah, that's why I had to get a new phone because
Yeah.
it wasn't updating. I couldn't do new apps.
Yeah. So my poor phone, and it won't. The volume, like when I try, I push it down. Like sometimes when I'm doing something for what is that thing I do? TikTok. Like and TikTok when you're posting a video, the sound is on the whole time. So if I'm out somewhere, I lower it I don't want to be rude. Usually I
Yeah.
do this in between while I'm picking things up and everything. So I don't want to like ruin everybody's dinner with this loud thing. So I lower it and then it won't go back up again. I'm like, what the hell? It takes me forever. And I'm like, this shouldn't be that hard to put the volume up on my phone. So yeah.
Oh,
Always
technology.
such problems. Can you imagine Shakespeare? Like, my quill is not working properly.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to start. Oh, I didn't even say I'm Selene.
I'm Pascal.
And
I just feel defeated today.
and we are Life In Jest. You're not.
Hi.
See, that's good. Hi. Yeah. By the way, I want to tell you the last episode, I just edited it the other day. It came up. It came on yesterday, and you know what I mean. It posted yesterday,
Yeah.
whatever the
Yeah.
term is. And you look so beautiful. Your skin is so perfect.
Get
You're
the
just
fuck out of
stunning.
here.
I'm not kidding. You looked amazing.
Stop it with your
You
flattering.
look
You
so good.
flatterer.
You're beaming, and your teeth are beautiful. Everything's
Listen,
so beautiful.
we just had a conversation about my teeth.
Well, I'm telling you that you looked amazing. I would offer to let you
Thank
watch
you.
the video, but you don't want to see yourself. So you'll have to
No, I can't
believe
even
me.
stand. I'm
Well,
looking at myself right now and I'm irritated.
you're going to have to believe me that you look stunning on the video. You always look great. I mean, that day when you were wearing that blouse, I mean, like you were rocking it. And you
the blouse.
even you just always look really good. You have like perfect skin, and it's really getting on my nerves. Okay, because like I
It's
look like
not.
I'm Crater Girl.
Listen, I'm looking hella old lately.
No, you're not. I think we always think those things of ourselves. Like I just started putting on this stuff, some face cream that
Me too.
friend Orel uses it, and like she looks so young. Like, and
She does.
and
She looks
like,
great.
yeah, but the problem is I don't always put it on, and I'm worried, like, what if because the dog kisses me, and I don't want him to get it on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is why I worry. And it's always when I put it on that he wants to kiss me even more. Maybe it smells good,
It's like, give me that delicious face cream.
So worry.
It's funny.
But
I remember when I was
Hmm?
I was in my 20s, and I remember my brother's girlfriend at the time, she was maybe 10 years, no, what am I saying? She was maybe 5 years older than me, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you don't take off your makeup and blah, blah, blah. This is when I was younger, the eyeliner and all that
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
when I actually tried. And I'm like, no. I was like, why would I do that? And she's like,
You
oh,
didn't
you'll
take,
get older.
wait, you didn't take it off, you're saying?
No, I was like 16,
Well, wait a minute.
17. I
So,
was like,
yeah, but
whatever.
at a certain point, I mean, you had to redo it, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would get up and take a shower the next
Oh, it
morning.
just came
I
off in
just
the
wouldn't
shower.
take it off at night. And she's
Oh,
like, oh, you're going to get older and you're
yeah.
going to need to. And she was right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not good for you to do that, I don't think, right?
Yeah. A lot of stuff people told me that I didn't want to listen to. So, yeah, they were
It's
absolutely
not
right.
just you. It's just when we're younger, we don't take things seriously. That we don't heed the advice we get. We just think it doesn't apply to us, so we just laugh it off. And I think it's just the nature. That's one of the cruel things about life, right? That even when you're
Yeah,
given the right advice, you don't take it because you don't. You
I
just
know
disregard it.
because there's so many things like you will never see people from high school again.
I
I
actually do,
wish
but not all.
everybody
I mean,
knew that.
I'm friends with people in high. I don't guess I don't see them, but I see them on Facebook and stuff. So I do see them. You know.
Oh, yeah, like, I've seen them on Facebook. I've even seen a couple in person. I've gotten together with them,
I've
but
seen
those
them,
are, like,
yeah,
the
yeah,
3 people that I've liked.
yeah. Well,
But
no,
all
you'll
the
never see
people
most
that you
of them, that's
hate,
for sure.
you
Yeah,
will
you don't
never have to see them again.
no, you don't have for
They
sure,
don't
yeah, yeah.
matter.
Well, that's true, your
Like,
life
you
is
think when
so
you're a kid that they matter so
I
much.
know,
They really don't.
your life is so different, like, it's so
I know. Like,
in this
now I
world
know. I'm
yeah,
like, I'm never gonna see these people again. Who cares?
I
Even
know,
if I am, who cares?
that's true. I remember when, I think it was Casey, I always used to drive his friends around, I was kinda like the shuttler of them, and
Yeah,
they
me
would hang
too.
out here and stuff, and, they were gonna go into high school, and they were nervous, and I'm just like, "You don't have to worry about it because it's gonna be so much better." And one of them was like, "Why?" Like, they were all really interested, and I'm like, "Because middle school is really the hardest time. You're going through so many changes, all your hormones, things just seem so blown up right now. Like, things
Yeah.
really, really are upsetting you. And then it's going to be so much better when you're in high school. It's going to be more chill. And it is, I mean, middle school really, I mean, it was junior high when I went, but it was definitely the hardest time of all for me.
Oh, that's when I discovered you could get away with a lot of shit.
I didn't know at that time. And I really never did try, but I did when I was in high school. I graduated when I was in my junior year. So that was my last year. And I would cut, but I knew what I could do. Like, I knew I wasn't going to let my grades fall or anything. But I was such a good kid that I sat in the principal's office during homeroom. I would just be marked absent. And they just assumed that I had a reason for being there. They totally trusted me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how
Our
good I
our
was.
school experience was so
Yeah.
different.
I was a very goody two shoes.
Yes, all of my friends were too, and I was like, I can't live that life. I gotta go do my own thing.
I just couldn't. This is me. I really, really worried about. I still have nightmares that I missed a class or something, either in high school or college.
I do. I have a reoccurring dream that I have to go back to the same high school as an adult because
Yeah,
I didn't graduate.
me too. Me too.
And I'm like, but why am I going to the same school?
Right.
It's like you just go get your GED. I wouldn't
Right.
go back to school.
I know. Now that you mention, I've repeatedly had that kind of thing. Most
Yeah.
recently, I had a dream that I had to go back and just take math. Can you imagine?
Oh, because you've had math on your mind.
It was before this stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I have to apologize to math people because I really have said many. I remember I said
You have.
I've always been mean to math, and I said to my son, I think Casey's. Well, it was both of the teacher because they had the same teachers in middle school at different times, and I said to this math teacher, "Yeah, I'm not into math. I don't think it matters." And she's like, "She's gonna have a heart attack." For me, English, of course, mattered. English and social studies were the core. It's not that the other things don't matter. Science, I respect them both. It's just that I don't know why we all have to take that if we're not good at it. You know what I mean? Like I thought math could be an elective.
Listen, for the same reason everybody has to take gym. You just have to take it.
Ugh,
But you do
well, I don't
use,
think they
I
should.
mean, most people use math every day.
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe. What do I do? What do I do with math every day?
I don't know. Do you pay things? Do you balance your
No, I do not
bank
balance.
account? Do
No,
you
no.
look at your
I look at my bank account and I just move things around if things aren't adding up, but I don't balance anything. Well, I don't write checks. I mean, like, I never write checks anymore.
Oh no, you
Oh,
don't have to balance your checkbook anymore. Well, people still do, but I don't.
I don't have a checkbook. Somewhere I have like one check that I got at the bank, you know?
I know. I had one doctor that didn't take online payments or
Yeah.
credit cards.
Yeah, there
And
was
I
always
had to
that one.
order a new checkbook because I'm like, I may have a checkbook. I have no idea
Right.
if I do or not.
Exactly. Yeah, so
And
that's yeah.
once in a blue moon, I'll write a check. And I'm like, what year is this? I can't be bothered.
I know. But
It's like mailing something. I'm like, I have to get a stamp? Like, what is even happening?
poor stamps, poor art of letters. That's so sad.
Oh my God, I sent Christmas cards, but the only stamps I could get were Kwanzaa stamps.
There you go.
I was like, 2 holidays for the price of one.
What did you do? Wait till the last minute?
No, you know what? I didn't want to buy an entire book of stamps because I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to use it. So I'm like, can I just get 10 stamps?
Right. Oh,
Because,
that's only good. Yeah.
and he's like, this is all I have. I'm like, then that's fine. And I still didn't use all of them.
I have stamps if you need any. I have them in my car.
I have one left.
I have cute ones, cat and a dog, like the half and half with hearts.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a mini segment that ties in with everything else we're gonna talk about, but it's a good way to start talking. Now, I just started hearing about this very recently. I really only started doing the research last Thursday, not very long at all. Here's the headline: State Supreme Court could order hand recount of Rockland's 2024 ballot. It's Rockland County, New York. The date was June 10th, 2025, and it's the Rockland County Times. And I'm going to read you some of this, and I think it's pretty shocking. I had no idea that all this stuff was going on, that people were questioning the results of the 2024 election. But it turns out that it's math that's doing it. That's why I have to be nice to math now. I've been so mean about math, but statisticians are the ones that are figuring all out. It just doesn't make sense statistically what happened, particularly in the swing states. But apparently Rockland County, which is odd, right? Why would anybody mess with a county in New York when New York always goes Democrat? If New York didn't go Democrat, I think alarm bells would ring everywhere.
Yeah.
Why they messed with, I don't know. But and this is all alleged, and I don't know. But I will say, whether we agree or not that anything happened, even after hearing all the evidence, we must know the truth. The only way to certainly know if an election was messed with is go over those ballots, those paper ballots again. Don't we want to know? And don't we want to prove it didn't happen if it happened? This way we can be assured that everything's okay. I'm not saying this is all alleged, and I certainly don't know. Right? Those statisticians, it's hard to follow what they're saying. All right. But
Oh, I completely agree. I feel exactly the same way. They have enough to make you kind of question it. And yeah, that's the only way you're going to know. I mean, there's no concrete proof, obviously. I mean,
there is concrete proof if you go over the ballots. That's the only way.
if you go over
Yeah,
the ballots.
that's the only way.
But they have a lot of circumstantial.
They do. But
what do you call it? Yeah.
But
right. That's the only way to tell is if they. Yeah.
Well, so this is they call it a seminal case, and the word seminal is a little funny.
Oh my God.
A seminal case questioning the accuracy of the 2024 presidential and Senate election results in Rockland County, New York, is moving forward. In open court last Thursday, Judge Rachel Tanguay, perhaps, of the New York Supreme Court ruled that discovery must proceed, pushing the lawsuit brought by Smart Election into the evidence gathering stage. The lawsuit seeks a full-hand recount of the presidential and U.S. Senate races in Rockland County. Smart Legislation, the action arm of Smart Elections, is the lead plaintiff in the case. Both organizations are dedicated to ensuring fair and accurate elections. And here's a quote. There is clear evidence that the Senate results are incorrect, and there are statistical indications that the presidential results are highly unlikely, stated Lulu Friesdat, I can't pronounce names, founder and executive director of Smart Legislation. And here's another quote. If the results are incorrect, it is a violation of the constitutional rights of each person who voted in the 2024 Rockland County general election. Best way to determine if the results are correct is to examine the paper ballots in a full public, transparent hand recount of all presidential and Senate ballots in Rockland County. We believe it's vitally important, especially in the current environment, to be absolutely confident about the results of this election. As stated in the complaint, more voters have sworn that they voted for independent U.S. candidate Diane Sare than the Rockland County Board of Elections counted and certified. Oh, so they definitely have proof because they spoke to people, directly contradicting those results. Additionally, the presidential election results exhibit numerous statistical anomalies. Anomalies is an interesting word, too. Makes me think of gnomes. The anomalies in the presidential race include multiple districts where hundreds of voters chose the Democratic candidate Kristen Gillibrand for Senate, but zero voters. Whoa. Hundreds of voters chose the Democratic candidate Kristen Gillibrand for Senate. Zero voters selected the Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris. Come on. You were expected to believe that people voted for Gillibrand, but they also voted for Trump? Zero voters for Kamala Harris.
Doesn't sound likely.
I didn't even realize that. This is the first time. I keep learning more things because, again, I'm just learning about all this myself, and I've been gathering a lot of stuff. I've been you know me when I get started, right? I'm like burrowing in. But this I didn't know. Oh, my God. Zero votes for Kamala Harris? How is that possible? That seems
you'd think
ridiculous.
Somebody would vote for her.
Somebody? I mean, come on. And certainly people that vote for Gillibrand, right? They're Democrats, I assume, or they're leaning more for that, right? They voted for her. I think if you're going to vote for Trump, you're going to go for then, a Republican candidate for Senate, right?
Yeah.
So here's the article again. I have to say when I go out of my rage back into the article. Additionally, now I'm being like Sal. Additionally, a statistician determined that the 2024 presidential election results were statistically highly unlikely in 4 of the 5 towns in Rockland County when compared with 2020 results. Max Bonamente, that's a nice name, PhD, Professor Bonamente, PhD, Professor of Physics and Astronomy at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, and the author of the textbook Statistics and Analysis of Scientific Data. Wow, that is one book I would never pick up, okay? Says in an upcoming paper on the Rockland data, these data would require extreme sociological or political causes for their explanation and would benefit from further assurances as to their fidelity. In other words, they seem bogus. Discovery could give both the court and the public a window into what issues in Rockland County are contributing to irregularities in the election results. Plaintiffs anticipate some depositions as well. Because the source of the discrepancies is unknown, a court-ordered recount could alter the election results or reveal issues in other races. Sworn voter affidavits reveal missing ballots in District 39. 9 voters have signed sworn statements that they cast ballots for Diane Sare in the U.S. Senate race, and the Rockland County Board of Elections recorded just 5 votes, a nearly 50% shortfall. I mean, seriously. District 62, Exhibit B, 5 voters said they voted for Sare. The Rockland County Board of Elections recorded 3, a 40% deficit. Drop-off irregularities in Rockville. I keep saying Rockville Center. Drop-off irregularities in Rockland County could mean the results are incorrect. Drop-off is a measure of the difference between the presidential candidate and the major down-ballot candidate of the same party, so the Senate in this case. A large positive drop-off indicates an overperformance by a candidate, meaning the candidate received more votes than is typical. A large negative drop-off indicates underperformance by a candidate, meaning the candidate received fewer votes than is typical and could signify votes are missing from the candidate's totals. And in the Republican drop-off, the 23% of Trump's totals in Rockland County exceed the 2024 Republican Senate candidate. The high drop-off rate illustrates that the presidential candidate far outperformed his down-ballot counterpart. Democratic drop-off is negative 9%. 9% of Harris's totals are below the Democratic Senate candidate. This is a highly unusual phenomenon that was repeated across the state and across the country. Rockland County is the first county where it is being formally investigated. Wow. I mean, so this is basically what we're going to talk about, this whole thing. I just don't even know why they messed with Rockland County, if they did, right?
What is even in Rockland County?
Nothing. I mean, I'm sure lovely things in Rockland County.
Like, what towns are in Rockland County?
This is all hypothetical.
Where is it even?
Well, it's not.
I'm guessing upstate New York?
It's not that far up. I've been there. I could be completely wrong. I could be making a fool out of myself. This is my state.
Yeah, listen, I know like 4 places in New York. I mean, I know more than that, but
right, I know. Okay, this is what I thought. I thought it was right above Westchester, and I was right, but I didn't want to say that just in case, because I know I've been there, but I've also driven very far. I've driven, to Rochester. So maybe I passed it then. Rockland County is located in southeastern New York State, just north of New Jersey and west of Westchester County across the Hudson River. It's considered part of the New York metropolitan area. Oh, and is it? Yeah, and is the southernmost county on the west side of the Hudson. Okay, you know what? That explains something. You know that the certain orange man has a real hard-on for New York, right? Like, especially metropolitan New York, because he feels totally
he doesn't
betrayed,
love it.
because he feels betrayed, because he feels like he was a New Yorker and he should be supported by them no matter what. Meanwhile, does he forget he used to be a Democrat? Like, he was a Democrat until it suited his political purposes to be a Republican.
And listen, Long Island still loves him.
They do. Well, I guess he didn't have to.
He got something. Take the win.
No, but I think he said, I knowing him, this is all hypothetical. This is all alleged. This is not real. I'm not saying anything happened, but couldn't you just hear him throwing a little hissy fit and saying, I want to win New York City? Like, say somebody's doing the computer stuff with that. I want you to do it for New York City. They're like, you can't do that for New York City. Everybody will know, right? You could just see that, right? So to appease him, they did Rockland. I mean, I see that. That's what I say.
Rockland, though.
It's look, it's part of the New York metropolitan area. They were like, this is as close as we could get you, kid.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, there's a lot going on. So this is a post that I worked for hours on to put on Facebook, because you know how I get when I'm wound up. I'm like, go. This is all from Thursday. Now, my friend had told me about this a couple of weeks prior, but I just didn't put any stock in it, right? I just was like, come on. She's like, people are checking into the election results. I'm like, oh, stop. I just figured a bunch of nuts to just question it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then, and so that was Aurel, who is always so brilliant. But that's
the one who looks great, by the way.
She does look amazing. Yes. She uses Jason's face cream. And I will say, I'll give that a plug, because she looks younger than us, I think. She looks amazing. So, and she's older than us. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to give away her age, but everyone should be as vibrant as she's amazing. But yeah. So she said that, but you know what? We're all feeling so defeated. We're all feeling this is miserable, and everything. And I was just not, it didn't put on my heart light like E.T., you know what I mean? I was
Oh,
like,
God.
okay. But
You
then
gonna Neil Diamond us?
that put on your heart light. But then, can you imagine that I'm singing that ridiculous song? Things have gone horrible.
Let it shine wherever you
Oh,
go.
isn't that awful? You got to admit it. I know you like Neil Diamond, but not that, right?
I do. I do
You
love
like
Neil
that song,
Diamond.
but not that song.
I do, but for some reason I hate Sweet Caroline. Go figure.
Your heart light is so insipid. Put on, and then he even
It's one
says
of
it.
those things.
What?
It's a song that reminds me of stuff, and that's, I think, why I like it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I do understand that because a lot of songs will bring me back to certain moments in my life. Absolutely. So I do know what
Yeah,
you're saying.
whether they're
Yeah,
stupid or not.
I
I
hear
mean, we
you.
all know that
But
song is
that
stupid.
one part of the song, he even goes, E.T. Most songs,
By the way,
most songs that,
I
that
thought of
come out
you
of
the other day.
who? What?
I thought of you the other day because I turned on like the 80s station. I was cooking. I've been trying to cook, which is a whole weird thing, but Wang Chung, that Wang
Oh
Chung
God!
Tonight song came on.
And did you hear the words?
Oh, I know every word to that song. And I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Terrible, right?
I know. Like, why do I know it?
We're talking about Dance All Days. We talked about it in our songs we hate.
No, it wasn't Dance All Days. It
Oh.
was Everybody Wang Chung Tonight.
Oh, okay. No, well, the song that song sucks as well. Everybody Wang Chung. Again,
Yes.
that they're putting their name in it. I'm against that. It's terrible. But the Dance Hall Days song is the one that it promotes.
Oh, yeah, that was stupid too.
Yeah, but no, it promotes
But we did give
violence.
that song, what?
It promotes domestic violence. It's all about take your baby by the hair, take your baby by the wrist. I mean, it's violent.
The 80s was a weird and wonderful time.
No, just weird.
There was a lot of cocaine used. That's all I have to say.
Oh my God.
As Rick James said,
All right.
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I'm not going to say the name of the guy, but since you mentioned cocaine, there's a very famous illustrator. And I go to a lot of those big conferences like American Library Association, Book Expo. Well, not so much Book Expo anymore, but I still go to ALA.
Book Expo doesn't happen anymore.
Well, then maybe that's why I don't go. But often I go to ALA. It's a huge, huge conference. And then,
yeah, that just passed.
Yeah, I didn't go this time. Don't rub it in.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I know. I should have gone. It was in Philly. And I go to National Conference of Teachers of English. That's amazing. I love that. But in any case, people do book signings there, right? So there's a really famous, I think it's just an illustrator, but not just. I just mean not both. That's some people are the illustrators. In this case, I think he was the illustrator. But it was this beautiful book. It was stunning. The colors were phenomenal. So he's signing the books, and I go, how did you come up with this? And he says to me, he's very famous, and there's people all around us, and he said, lots of cocaine. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, that took me back. Well, I'm stuck with boringness because I'm not going to do cocaine.
Good for you.
What can I say? I don't think Monet had to use cocaine to get his colors.
I don't think so.
So I will say that when you sing E.T. in a song, most songs, no matter how silly they are, when they're theme songs for movies, don't have like the name of the thing in it. Like, for example, that My Heart Will Go On. She doesn't go, Titanic, you know what I mean?
Listen, but Cyndi Lauper names the Goonies.
Oh, I see. I didn't.
They're good enough.
What? I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah.
Well, there needs to be a list of these things. That I understand you do a song for a movie, but the song should be eternal. It's just ridiculous now hearing E.T. Even at the time it was ridiculous, but come on, Here's another little story. When E.T. the movie was out, I was sitting at Tony's house. We were just dating at the time. We were teenagers, I think, very young. And Entertainment Tonight was on, and the woman was holding the microphone, and somebody else that was with us said, look, the microphone says E.T. because it was Entertainment Tonight. They thought it was E.T. because of the movie.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not going to name who that was.
Oh, I have guesses.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you do. So anyway, all that to say, I am now fully in this. My friend Gay said to me, now that Karen Reed is over, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. And I started thinking about it because there's no more Luigi to be heard from anywhere.
Oh my God, I forgot who you were talking about. I'm like, why are we talking about Mario?
Luigi
I
Mangione.
forgot all about him.
Well, we haven't heard from him. So he's out. So what was I going to do? Right. So then I said, well, let me call Aurel and see what's going on with this thing. Maybe she has some evidence. Because I would be so into it if it was real. So I called her up and she starts saying things. She says, I'll send you links. She's very good at that. And then she goes, it's a bunch of stats. I can't say. It's a bunch of statisticians that are doing this. And like, what? And the minute she said that, I knew it was real because there has to be evidence because statisticians aren't effing around. I could say fucking, what? I don't know why I'm doing that. But statisticians don't fuck around with conspiracy theories. They use facts to find things out and then they say something,
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. The statisticians. Okay. So that's when I started really, at that moment, that was last Thursday, I think. Yeah. I feel like a lifetime has passed since then. But that was last Thursday. And I have just been so into this. And I started telling you, I called you, and what did you say?
I don't know.
You said, you got any proof? Because you talked to me like I'm a conspiracy. And then even my son was like, what are you even talking about? And I said, there's evidence. He goes, you sound like Trump was in the last election. I'm like, yeah, but in my research, I discovered the statisticians were the ones that disproved that happened in the previous one. They said statistically, it all made sense.
Yes, but here's the thing. When you first heard it, you had the same thought.
It's true. Right. It's true. We are very downtrodden. We are very sad, but this is something that needs to be looked into. And because say something did happen to our election, it could certainly happen again in the midterms. What's to stop it from happening again unless we find out? Honestly, I'm getting really worried about computers. Elon Musk, there's a video of him saying, yeah, never trust the computer because it could be hacked. He says all these things about computer programs a lot. He says a lot of things.
I know, but didn't we all know that? I
mean, we didn't. We did not understand the severity.
I know, but you hear about hacks every day.
Well, apparently it's not the voting machines because now we have the paper ballots. It's the tabulators that transmit everything. That's what gets messed with. Okay. So.
Well, that was the interesting part of that video.
Yeah, we watched. Wait, before we do that, let me just read the introduction of my thing so people understand what we're talking about. So basically what we're talking about is they're trying to get what's happening in Rockland. They're trying to get that in other places in America. They're trying to get recounts, especially in swing states where Trump won everything in a landslide. It is kind of, why didn't we question this, right? So I'm just going to read my opening thing here, and then we'll talk about the video. I sent Pascale a podcast. It basically gave the rundown of everything. If you go on the YouTube for the group with the statisticians is Election Truth Alliance, a lot of their videos start with like a presumption of knowing something about it. That's why I want to make sure we're not doing that, because if you don't understand what the whole main thing is about, it's very hard to understand the little things that are being explained. So I'm just going to read this paragraph. We have a new breed of American hero, statisticians. While we checked our skepticism at the door and blindly accepted the wild notion that Donald Trump swept all the swing states in such a large margin that automatic audits were not triggered. Think about that. Statisticians have been doing the math. They've been analyzing the probabilities of the election results in specific locations, looking for the usual bell curves, but finding Russian tails instead. But what is a Russian tail? It's typically found in analyses of elections in which the votes have been manipulated from what some voters intended. And then the down ballot was explained in that article. the thing about the down votes. And that's a main reason why they're able to find anomalies, because like Kamala not getting any votes, but that Gillibrand got votes. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense, right? So I was just going to say that when I vote, I generally vote down the line. If you're voting for a Democratic candidate for president, most people will just go down the line. And Republicans too. They go down the line and vote for their party, right?
I do.
Yeah. So
Usually. Unless there's someone specific.
Exactly. But for Kamala not to get votes and Gillibrand to get them blows my mind, you know? So, okay. So, and statistical probabilities don't prove election tampering. Audits of paper ballots do. And that's why two groups have joined together calling for the paper ballot audits in the swing states and other places, Rockland County, where vote anomalies have been detected. And one of them is the Election Truth Alliance, and one of them is Smart Elections. Election Truth Alliance just started as a result. They kept checking things independently, these people, and then they're like, wait a minute, something has to be done. So this got made. But Smart Elections has been around for a long time. And they talked about in the video, they've been around, and apparently they would film people messing with voting machines since 2007, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So what are your takeaways from the video?
Once again, I'm a prove it person, and they did not. It wasn't concrete proof,
right?
But I think there is definitely enough to make you question. And like you said, what can it hurt?
Right.
It could prove that the other side is right. Go either way, honestly, but it doesn't hurt to check. I could see why people wouldn't want to check. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But
you mean people that know that it's wrong, or is that what you're saying? Or some people just don't?
Well, I mean, if you're the other side, it's taking a gamble,
Well, yeah, but don't we want to know either way if our elections are being tampered with?
Some people would, and some people wouldn't. A lot of people, if it suits their point of view, they're not going to buck the system. That's just how it is.
If I thought that Trump was right about that stuff and not just, a really sore loser, I would have agreed. I think they did do recounts. He demanded recounts, and they did them, and they found more votes for Biden, from what I understand, in Georgia.
Well, I mean, what did I say when you first told me about this? It is like, why don't they recount to begin with?
Yeah, there's no automatic recounts. But the thing that I mentioned before is there are audits triggered if it's close. You have to win by a really large margin for an automatic audit not to be kicked in. So, of course, someone tampering with that would want to avoid that, and they would purposely make it a larger margin. And it is kind of crazy how he swept all the swing states. And when you look at the amount of crowds that the Harris had, Harris and Walton, I'm not saying that I assumed they were going to win. I was kind of worried about it because I was hearing a lot. People were unsteady about things, but for such a landslide, doesn't make sense. On a separate note, we need to get rid of the Electoral College. Elections are being controlled by these swing states. It's ridiculous. We just I don't know why we're doing this. But that's a totally separate issue. I'm still angry about the Al Gore thing. When Al Gore won the popular vote, and Florida was in question, right? And Bush's brother was the governor of Florida, and they were doing a recount, and then Gore just conceded. He didn't want to ruffle feathers. He didn't want to look bad. He just wanted to look like a gentleman. I'm like, no, you don't be a gentleman. Do the damn recount. Do it. You can't be a gentleman about this because they're not being gentlemen. What annoys me, I don't like what's her name said,
Michelle Obama. I know you're going to say when they go low, we go high.
When they go low, we go high. That does not work. It does not work because low people win. Have we not seen all the things in not just politics in general, right? I want to believe in goodness winning, but only in movies, and not even always them, I can't. I've become way too jaded, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think realism has set in. We see what happens. we see the power of money and money and power, the power of power. Like when people have power, and it's easy for Michelle Obama to say because, I mean, she's living a great life. She's got her higher ground studios, and they're doing their thing, and she's got her podcast, and more power to her. But a lot of us are in a position not like hers. We're in trouble, And so I say we really have to, I'm not saying go low, like be underhanded, but think about what the low people might be doing and check into that and don't just take a high road. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we should be dirty, like, no. And I'm not saying Trump is even, well, I'm not going to, in this case, I'm not saying anything except why not look into it, right? That's all I'm saying. For the good of future elections, we have to be secure that something's not happening, especially with all these things that are being said. Like Donald Trump, do I have it here? What he said? Oh, by the way, I will say, before I forget, Smart Election, both of these groups are fundraising, right? And Smart Election is doing this lawsuit in Rockland County, and they're trying to raise $100,000 by the next court date, which is September 22nd, 2025. And they've raised like 77,000. But I can, these lawsuits are so expensive, and they're volunteers, but there's all the evidence. People, what is that called? The experts. All these things, everything has to get paid for, right? So, like in the Karen Reed trial, these lawyers were working for free in this last trial, but they had to pay all the experts. They had to pay this one thing alone for testing was $50,000. So there's a lot of expenses with lawsuits. If you're at all interested, if you can give $1, these people are all saying like give $1. $1 for democracy. You don't need to give a lot, but if a lot of people give $1, then that adds up, right? So it's not like you have to give a fortune that you don't have. It's like you buy a lotto ticket, maybe one of the dollars that you were going to play on lotto, maybe give it to them, and maybe it's kind of like playing lotto for democracy. You know what I mean? Like rolling that ball for the chance, something like that. And so anyway, here's what I wanted to say about what Trump said that is very worrisome, and I did not pick up on it at the time. At a pre-inauguration rally, Donald Trump praised Elon Musk. And the quote is, "He knows those computers better than anybody. All those computers, those vote-counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide. So it was pretty good, pretty good. So thank you, Elon." So seriously? Okay.
I take some issue with that because the man also tends to talk out of his ass. So that could go either way for me.
Okay. But Elon also was the golden child afterwards. Why? Have you ever heard of Trump being so congenial to anybody that he let him take over in the Oval? Like he let him run the press conference in the Oval Office. That was Musk doing that while Trump sat at his desk. And then Elon's kid was very insulting to Trump.
Sorry.
And he said to Trump, you remember, you're not the president. Oh, did he hear people talking? I thought he was just saying that his father's the president, but I think he heard about this stuff. As we know, we have kids. Kids repeat things that they hear.
I know I've told you this. I don't know if I've told everybody
right?
this. His name is Droobie, Droobie. And so he reenacts all these current things in the news with marshmallows.
Oh, wow.
And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's sad because it's actually happening, but it's a funny spin on things. I mean, let's face it, things are pretty disturbing at this point. Yeah. So any funny you can find in it.
Agreed. I keep meaning to look at that, but
there's a little Elon Musk kid marshmallow. And at the end of every skit, he says something really fucked up to Trump. And it's just so fun.
Well,
and he says it in like this evil whisper.
I love that. And I do want to look at that. But I think that there's something to what happened there because Trump doesn't put up with that kind of stuff. He was kind of schooled, right? And Musk was controlling it. And the kid said the things. The kid, didn't he pick his nose and put boogers on the Resolute desk?
I'm not saying it's not true. I just
Right.
always
Well,
think that you have to
I
take what he
can't
says with a
no,
grain
wait.
of salt.
Well, I think we gave it with too much salt, okay? Okay, because Musk has said a lot of things about computers too. There's a video of him. He's laughing like a hyena. He's laughing hysterically with whoever he's talking to. I guess an interviewer, and the guy's like, "You are fucked if Trump doesn't win." He goes, "I am so fucked if Trump doesn't win. I want to be locked up forever. Are they going to let me see my kids? How long is my sentence?" He was laughing.
I
So
mean, honestly, if you read this in a book or saw this on a TV show, would you not think this is the craziest, funniest shit you've ever seen if it wasn't actually true?
yeah, they say truth is stranger than fiction for a reason, and
It's true.
in this case, because Trump has always said such wild things, we give him a pass now and don't really analyze. That's the problem.
I know, but I mean, it's like picking through a pile of shit. Like, how are you supposed to tell
Well,
you know what I mean?
I know at the time,
There's
at
so
the time
much
we
to
didn't
sort
get it.
through.
We didn't get it at the time, but people have picked up on it. And I'm just saying that's another piece of evidence. And so when Musk started fighting with Trump, which we all thought was fun, and it was, but I don't really know where they even stand now because Trump said if that bill passed, that did pass, he said that he was going to start his own party. So, and honestly,
You mean Musk?
oh, sorry, did I say Trump? Musk. I
Yeah.
apologize. Yeah, that makes no sense. Yeah, Musk said he's going to start the American Party. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. But to have more than a two-party system, no matter who starts it, I think is a great idea. And he has the money. He might be one of the few people that could effectively start a third party that would actually have traction.
Yeah. But Trump people are never going to split off from him. It's just not going to happen.
But the real question is how many people really did support him? Because when you look at the parade that he had, that was a very lame parade. Like
I didn't.
it's very lame. The stands were mostly empty along the route. Pathetic. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Damn, they couldn't CGI people in.
I don't know.
Was it live?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
It was live. We live somewhere where they're hitting us over the head with that stuff, right? So we see it everywhere, all this support for him. But how much support does he really have in the whole country? He has huge, he has big money support from a lot of people. And let's face it, the people that engineered all this stuff, the Project 2025, those people have way more money than Donald Trump. They're the ones that are really engineering the whole thing, right? He has them, but actual voters, actual people that needed to be fucked with, perhaps, how many of them did he have? And it's an interesting question, and it all can be answered by these ballots being counted. That's the only way to answer it.
Yeah.
I'm researching Smart Elections and Election Truth Alliance. Maybe you could Google videos of Elon Musk talking about computers. There's ways to see these things. I just don't remember exactly where I saw them. But it's very interesting to see these people talking. But when Musk broke with Trump, my friend was like, oh, I wonder if he's going to say what happened. But he's not going to say what happened because he'll go to jail. It's a very serious crime to mess with an election. That might be considered treason.
Oh, yeah, it should be.
Well, the punishment for treason used to be death. They did it to the Rosenbergs. I don't know what happened since then. But somebody telling people to go storm the Capitol doesn't quite count.
I think the punishment should be removing his hair plugs.
That's funny. Well, this is all hearsay. It's all alleged. But what gets to me is that people aren't really talking about this, okay? Now, Newsweek published stuff about the Rockland County thing. Okay, they did. But other than that, where is the New York Times in all this? They're just laying down. They're just laying down. Why are they not talking about it? They don't have to accuse him of anything, but just say, hey, there's these attempts at lawsuits. These statisticians are doing this. The election truth people have been petitioning the governor in Pennsylvania to do an audit. Now, what's his problem? Is he mad because he didn't get picked to be the vice president? Why wouldn't he allow it? Why wouldn't he agree? Josh Shapiro. Why wouldn't
Because
he agree?
everybody has their own agenda. You don't know what he's working with.
He was one of the contenders to be the vice president pick, and I just think, I don't know. It should be a shoo-in that they would do that. They organize days where people publicly say things urging Shapiro to do it. Things like that are happening. It shouldn't be this hard to call attention to the whole thing. And the elected officials, the problem is you either get the recount through elected officials in the state. In this case, the governor. It depends state by state on who's in control of this, who can give permission, or you have to sue. Then suing costs a fortune, and it's not easy because, of course, you're going to get fought back really hard. But I think the key to it all is public awareness. Another friend of mine was saying, well, you need Channel 2 CBS to cover it. I go, well, not so much anymore. I'm not saying don't cover it, CBS News, but I'm saying, to use the Karen Reed trial an example, okay? She was completely fucked until not CBS News, but a blogger named Turtle Boy took up her cause, okay? And he started investigating, and he started speaking on YouTube, podcasting, YouTubing, whatever he's doing. I know he's on YouTube. It was YouTube. It was people like him. It was him that started, and then other people took up. By the time of the second trial, so many YouTubers were covering this. So many. And there's so many people following these people. This is the new media. This is where people are going. A lot of people go. And you know why? It's a communal experience. You can get really involved with these people. You follow them and you can get really invested, and you can comment, and you could send them like ideas for them to do. And all of a sudden everybody's in on it. It's so much different than like the New York Times where you're completely removed, right? Or CBS News. Yeah, they let you put a comment. They never, I've written to things on some news things. I've never heard back at all about anything, right? It's a different experience on YouTube. On YouTube, these people, like there's one called The Lawyer You Know. He's got 500,000 subscribers. That's what he hit during Karen Reed. And he speaks to people. He reads the comments. He talks to the people. He gets emails from them. They send him things to look at, and then he features it on the show. So it's much more active. And this is the new way to reach out to people. So we don't have to get, it's sad that CBS News and New York Times is not covering it. But if influencers, it doesn't even have to be the YouTubers themselves. Anybody that's listening, if you listen to a YouTuber, turn them on to this. That's how Karen Reed blew up. That's how she got those lawyers, because it was very hard to get. She did have one lawyer, David Yannetti, to begin with, but then to get the others, they're attracted by the bigness of a case. Let's face the facts. There are a lot of really worthy cases out there, right? There's a lot of people in trouble, but they're staying in trouble because they don't have the attention put on them like this, okay? You guys know how hard I fought for Karen Reed because I absolutely believe in her innocence. But how many cases don't I know about, right? That is the same thing. So many, right? So we won in this case. It's not hollow. It's a good victory, but we have to think about all the other things. In this case, the United States is the one who's in jeopardy, right? We need to know. And it's not even about what happened. It is about, we're going to find out what happened in the election. But overall, it's about the future of elections and can we trust our elections? Because we're all saying, well, we're going to speak our mind in the midterms, right? I know I do. I'm unhappy with what happened in the Senate, and I'm going to speak my mind, right? I think that's a pretty fair assessment. There's a lot of unhappy people with what's been happening in the Senate and the House. Well, if this happens again, it doesn't matter what we picked. If these things get messed with, where our voices may not be heard. That's what this is about. Our voices deserve to be heard. That's what we are. We're a democracy. We're not Russia. There shouldn't be a Russian tail in our elections. And why not check it? Why not check it? If I thought that Trump was, I'm telling you, I was poo-pooing him recounting, but he actually was recounting and they found more things. And what about when they went after those election workers? Remember, they ruined their lives? Remember?
I do not.
Giuliani, by the way, whatever happened to Giuliani? We haven't had a peep out of him.
I don't know. He looks like Nosferatu.
But I mean, he had to give he gave his condo to those women. He said those really, really horrible things. And I wouldn't repeat them. And they took his condo. They took like his golf clubs. They took everything.
Yeah.
And great. I think it's great because if you do think that somebody has done something inappropriate, illegal, whatever, that is not the way you talk about it. You don't besmirch their lives. You start a lawsuit. You don't scream at people and destroy their lives were in danger over this, right? This man was a mayor of New York City. And this is what he did. He felt lawless because that's what it is when you start acting like that. Out of the law, you're lawless. You're above the law. And he wasn't above the law. He went down big, and boy, he did not get protected by the Orange Menace. So I'm saying we have to look into this. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it happened. I'm not Jacques Hughes. I'm just saying statisticians are geeky guys. They don't go around with conspiracy theories. They are grounded in facts. They are saying there are anomalies and we should look at them. That's all. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. And here's a big thing. They presented their findings, the ETA, to the recognized leading expert in election forensics, Dr. Walter Mebane Jr. of the University of Michigan. And he has an e-forensics model, which he's used all over the world, okay? And he did his own analysis of 67 Pennsylvania counties because a real mathematician, statistician is not going to rely on someone else's answers and say how they look. They're going to do their own thing, right? And he said that it is possible that, quote, the election was decided or nearly decided by malevolent. I can't say any words in this article.
Malevolent.
Malevolent. The election was decided or nearly decided by malevolent distortions of electors' intentions. And he issued a report that I dare you to read. It's 1,000 pages long, literally. Okay? 1,000 pages long. So we're not going to be reading that. We're going to have to trust what he said. Okay? But statisticians can read it and they understand. He said that his e-forensic model estimated that between 25,000 and 225,440 votes in the presidential race were possibly fraudulent in Pennsylvania. Trump won by, I think, 125,000. I think we should look at that. Okay? This is our call to action, people. It's simple. Just start paying attention. Start sharing this information with other people. Okay? What is the worst that can happen? We'll find out, no, it's not true. So what? At least we could say we tried. The worst thing is to not find out. And then we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Let's just be informed, okay? This is our George Washington aha moment. Like I was saying, on the 4th of July, I posted a thing about George Washington, how he never gave up. He always found a way. He didn't moan and say, that's it, it's over. He didn't throw down his sword in defeat, right? He always found a way. This is our chance to be like George Washington, who never gave up and always found a way to press on and win. This could be the way. It's better than sitting around crying. Why not listen to what they're saying? Why not pitch in a buck? Why not see what happens? It's not going to hurt anybody, except maybe some people it may hurt. I don't know. If you commit a crime, you should be hurt. You know. So we need to audit. So my call to action is share our podcast. I think we laid it out in an interesting, fun way. Do you think?
What?
Oh my God, you look like you're suffering. Did we lay this out in a fun way?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm so hungry.
Okay, we're going to go. But wait, do you think
I'm sorry. No, I do think, yes, I agree.
I try to be fun about it and not just reciting stuff, you know. Share this. Tell them just listen to this. Give it a thought. Give it a thought. Maybe consider this, okay? And then help smart elections. Help Election Truth Alliance. Help them just a little bit if you can, you know? Maybe give up the cup of Starbucks and give them that money for one day, you know? Volunteer for one of the organizations. I have volunteered with the Election Truth. I haven't actually started yet, but I filled out a form and I volunteered to do social media posts and things like that for them. So I have put my money where my mouth is. And I have said that I'll donate 9 hours a week because they ask how many hours. And I said 9. It wasn't random. That was one of the choices. You know what I mean? Look for other social media posts or any social media posts about this and share them. Reach out to your elected officials and voice your concerns and say, how about we check into this, right? And if you're an influencer, influence. If you know any influencers, even if you're a fan of a YouTuber, tell them, I want to hear about this. Can we talk about this? Can you look into this? A lot of YouTubers are looking for content. They're looking for things to cover. So I've tried to keep this fun. I've tried to keep it interesting and simple. Please check it out for yourself. Check out the Election Truth Alliance. Check out Smart Elections. On Election Truth Alliance, there's a video that Pascale and I both watched, and it's a podcast with members of both groups there, representatives. It's a good way to get into the whole thing. And you can listen to it or watch it, or I don't think you lose anything by not actually looking at the video. I listen to these things while I'm driving, and that's what I did this time. So come on, guys. Get mad, get loud, get going. Right? Let's do it. All right. We're done, except we have our quotes. Okay?
I do not have my quotes. It's been that kind of day.
Okay. All right. Then we have my quotes.
Okay.
This is by John Lewis, who we love him. He was a civil rights great, and he was a congressman. If you don't know John Lewis, look into him. That is a hero, amazing man. And it's a miracle he survived the civil rights movement. He was beaten so hard, so many times. I don't know how he survived. True miracle. That man is a force of nature. The vote is the most powerful, nonviolent tool we have in a democracy. Thomas Paine said, the right of voting for representatives is the primary right by which other rights are protected. It's true. Abraham Lincoln said, elections belong to the people. It's their decision. And here's one that Abraham Lincoln said that I really couldn't even believe it. It's so ironic. He said, the ballot is stronger than the bullet.
Oh.
Wow, right? That's upsetting.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh.
I know, but I mean, it's so ironic, you know?
Yeah.
Tom Stoppard said, it's not the voting that's democracy. It's the counting. Okay. We're going to wrap it up. You're going to go get something to eat. I'm going to go get something notarized. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Please tell everybody if you want to share us, and why not? We're such a joy. We would really appreciate you sharing us. And in particular, this episode, not only maybe turn people possibly onto us, but also this very serious issue that I really think behooves everybody to be concerned with. So on that note, au revoir.
See ya.
All right.
Oh, bye. Sorry.
Bye.
Lowe's knows that more projects mean more tools. For a limited time, new and existing MyLowe's Rewards credit card members can get 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more, in-store and online. Don't wait to get the things you need. Get special financing today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Now through August 27th, choose 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payments required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.